he acquires, but it is in his integrity and ability to affect those around him positively. And that's a quote from the man that we're actually having a chit-chat with this evening. Sitting right across me. He turned 79 on December 8th, having been born in 1938 in Kumasi. Still growing in grace, and wisdom, I must add. And he's admired by different people for different reasons. Some say Ghana blossomed under his tenure as president. Others say his humility is his greatest asset. Yet, some women that I've spoken to, and of course read from, say his eyes and physique are awesome. The man I feel blessed to be chatting with today has been everything you can imagine in the political space. Member of Parliament, minister, spokesperson for the Foreign Affairs Ministry, all the way through to becoming the #1 citizen of the land. And he has served in numerous international and global capacities. An old student of the famous Prempeh College, a lawyer of good standing. I must say that he attended the famous Lincoln's Inn, London, 59 to 61, Exeter College, Oxford, that is, 61 to 64, and is proudly married with 5 children, all doing well. I must say he's blessed. And considering that he's on retirement, but still plays a crucial role for the Freemasons. In fact, we want to know more about the Freemasons tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, celebrating the indefatigable man of this great nation of ours. We are coming to you live from his home. The gentle giant, we all call him, former president of this great republic, Ghana, John Ajekum Diewu Kufuor. Welcome.
Thank you.
Mr. President, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well.
And you look hale and hearty for 79.
By grace of God.
By the grace of God. Well, so you're live on Star 103.5 FM. This is Star Chat, and my name is Bola Ray. Star Chat is probably brought to you by Express Savings and Loans, Guaranteed Trust Bank, wouldn't you rather bank with us, and Johnny Walker, keep walking. This show is also live in Kumasi on Ultimate 106.9 FM. Yes, we are in TAC Radio on Empire 102.7 FM. Live in the Volta region, it is Cool 103.5 FM. Cape Coast, we are live on Cape FM. And I hear we are live in Nkoko on Ago FM as well. And on GH1 television, watch us this Sunday. Our guest is right here. And he told us that he's doing well. I know you've been preparing for this great interview. I've been looking forward to it since we posted it. You're a man that is loved by many. How does that make you feel, Mr. President?
Very thankful. And it adds to the humility, because it could have been worse. But I'm thankful that everywhere I go, I continue to receive graces from people I meet everywhere around the world. And I have traveled on all the 5 continents.
All the 5 continents?
All the 5 continents.
How many countries thus far?
I haven't counted, but I can say quite numerous.
What, 50?
Could be more. If we are counting even just the countries on our continent. It's quite a lot, and I've been in most of them.
Wow, you are blessed. How does it feel to be 79? Does it feel any different?
But for the limp I've suffered since I had a back operation, I would say I haven't felt much different from when I was perhaps in my 30s.
Really? No major changes in the body?
That's what I meant by
the lip. Okay.
The procedure I had on my lower spine.
Wow. But clearly, apart from that,
I haven't suffered any.
Wow.
Serious
illness
so far.
So far. So what is your routine like? Is it something that when you wake up, do you still exercise?
As and when I feel like it. But it's not quite regular.
Okay. For many, you've aged in grace, and you mentioned that. Look so well. Next year will be the big one, 80th birthday. And I know you have a foundation that is putting something spectacular together. We'll get into that. But being a family man, being married for how many years?
I believe it's 55 years now.
55 years. What is your
You
secret?
weren't born then.
Clearly not. What's your secret then for many like us to look up to you and also clearly learn from it?
Respect for the partner, sincerity. I'm not an angel.
Oh, you're not an angel?
No, not at all.
When you say you're not an angel, how do you mean?
Meaning, I suffer ups and downs like anybody else. But the whole idea is to respect the partner and try to be as sincere as possible with her. Be tolerant, because she is also not perfect either. And then fellow feeling generally. So this, I believe, has been the secret so far.
I love these great values that you espouse. I mean, loving one another, respect, most importantly, and fellow feeling. 55 years. How's Madam Teresa doing?
She is also fine. Lately, she has also suffered some challenges with sight. So she's a bit withdrawn, but she's well otherwise.
You still walk hand in hand, maybe if you have the time, you go around, you cuddle like you used to?
Sometimes I suspect she's even stronger than me.
We thank God for grace. And how many grandchildren? That's one.
Now we are blessed with, I believe, about 13 of them.
13?
13.
Wow. All in the country or some abroad?
Some here, some abroad. The first one is a girl, now about 23, finishing university in Canada. Second one, a boy studying engineering in Edinburgh University. Third one, a girl, also finishing a degree in London University, Queen Mary's University. Fourth, on and on and on.
Do you feel fulfilled?
More than.
How so?
In the sense that I believe destiny has so far been so kind to me, my family, and relations generally. And the career I chose, as you yourself observed, I worked it was a long haul, I should let you know.
Right.
But eventually, I got to the topmost position in that career in this country, which is not a mean thing. So
was it planned? Was it calculated?
To some extent, yes. To a large extent.
You planned to be president?
Not to be president, but choosing the career, yes. Because I started very early, even before I was 30. And by 30, I was Member of Parliament, Deputy Foreign Minister of Ghana at that age. And my mentors then seemed to have seen something, so they encouraged me on and on. And eventually, I got there.
That is rare. It's something you will not find in many of today's youth. What drove you? What inspired you? What pushed you to say, I can do it? And yes, I can attain that feat.
It's a combination of things. Where I was born, the relations, the network of families, and there was a lot of leadership there. And then even into school. You mentioned Prempeh College. Somehow, teachers and even fellow students just thought that there was something I could do for society. So it went into me. Then studying law, and it was then many African countries were becoming independent. So politics was very much in the air. So I looked, and then the feelings I had personally, the value systems I was used to, just indicated this was the way to go, to be able to serve in whatever community I found myself.
Impressive, I must say. But ever a time that you miss being president?
Oh, no. Once I got there, and I served 2 full terms as the Constitution of Ghana allowed. So what else could I want? And I ended on the very day of my birthday. The election took place 7th December.
The 8th was
8th was my birthday. 70 years old. So what more could I want?
There's never been a time that you've said to yourself that, wow, I wish I was back there in that seat.
No. But rather, I've wished that successive regimes after me would have done this or that too. But for me, going back, no.
Have you had the chance to impress upon them to implement the idea or carry it out?
Immediately after me came late President Mills. He was civil with me, generally, but perhaps the opportunity wasn't there for me to suggest that, hey, look at it this way or that way. Then President Mahama came, very nice with me, but again, not much of an opportunity.
So you didn't suggest anything to former President Mahama?
What could I suggest? We were, as I say, very, very civil. But right now, we meet and it's quite on friendship basis, very friendly basis, but not politically. I'm careful not to. But President Kufuor, as you know, has been an old colleague. I would say perhaps we were all raised in the same value systems. And so I sometimes feel he reads me even before I speak, just like I also know where he's going.
Are you impressed with his governance thus far?
So far, so good. One, the selection of his team impressed me, and then his statements, the policies he's enunciating, and the way within the first year he's managed to sort of put his stamp firmly on the continent and beyond, to draw streams of presidents and heads of state and likely investors to come to Ghana, all indicate to me that he's on the right course. And I've said it somewhere that he is taking over where I left off.
Oh.
It would be a good continuation.
A good continuation. Is that to say that the other two before him?
Ideology comes here.
Yes.
They style themselves left of center, so
yes,
forth, so on.
Yes.
I don't subscribe to those things. I'm not a capitalist in the sense, in inverted commas, the wrong sense. No. But I believe in wealth creation. Because I say
By
that...
your time, you also brought in some social interventions.
But that's the point I want to make. I believe in wealth creation. You need capital to create this. But I believe capital should be there to serve, and to serve community indiscriminately. And in that sense, that's where the social interventions come in. And you don't call that capitalism in that inverted common sense. No.
Interesting. In getting into it, I also want to talk about Prempeh College.
Yes.
A great school at that.
Yes.
Remember your first formative years at Prempeh College. What do you recall, Mr. President?
It was a great school. It wasn't... It was a big school, but the population then wasn't bigger than 600. But with a staff of perhaps 70 or more. So teacher-student ratio was so high, like one teacher to about 20. So teachers knew students, and students knew teachers. We were not overcrowded. Life was easy and nice, but discipline very high.
Discipline was high.
Very high.
Has it gone down? Has it taken
I don't know. Now, the last time I was there, just a month or two back, student population is about 3,000.
Does that get you worried?
I'm worried because these days, when we are a young society, Ghana generally, parents are out legitimately, fairly, searching for the resources to keep body and soul together. So children are left at the, if you like, mercies of teachers, generally, from kindergarten right through basic through secondary. So you may get a teacher who might teach you sound mathematics, but when you come to the ethics or morals, if you want to put it that way, I doubt even with the best of worlds if the teachers are able to really do that, deliver that aspect of nurturing to students. But in our time, and Prempe's motto even now is Subain Ninimdie.
Yeah.
That is character and knowledge. They made sure of the character aspect. People were not allowed to talk out of turn much. And Prempe, as you know, was founded by an alliance or a partnership of the Methodists and Presbyterians, a rare thing, and then with the backing of Asantehene. So these three authorities working together to nurture youngsters definitely put some awe in the youngster.
Which house were you in?
I was in Butler House.
Butler House.
That, I think, was the name of a former chief commissioner of Asante, also some Britisher, who was there when the school, I think, was founded.
Right. And some memorable moments you want to share with us?
School?
Yes. Back at Prempe College.
I was easygoing.
Okay.
Loved a lot of fun.
Oh, you had a lot of fun back at Prempe?
Oh, yes.
Where fun will be defined as?
Sports.
Okay.
And games generally. But it was an all-boys school. So
right.
Don't get anything wrong.
Oh, but your girls were Yasantua girls?
The Yasantua wasn't founded then.
Oh, then.
But
Okay.
St. Louis, which
St. Louis, okay.
is a Catholic girls' school.
Right.
And it was quite a distance.
Were you involved in entertainment of a sort?
Once or so, I took part in some play.
Okay.
But I enjoyed other people playing.
Wow. Wow.
I didn't see myself as an actor, not much.
Into music, do you have any?
Oh, I was disqualified from singing because...
You were disqualified?
Oh, yes. The school was preparing for speech day. And I think it must have been 55 or 56. But I had broken my voice then. Oh. And it was an assembly of the whole school. And the music master, very accomplished man, late Mr. Riverson, was drilling us on some anthem. But because I knew I didn't know how to sing, I had tucked myself into the middle of this gathering of 600 students, thinking I could get away with it. But then the man with trained ear, once he started, quickly spotted there was some discordant voice hidden somewhere. So he rubbed the button once, stopped singing, and the whole school went quiet. Then start again, second time, third time, he started glaring, and then spotted, you, stand up. And I stood up to the whole school looking at me, so embarrassed. So I sing for me, you alone. Gee, I didn't even know my part.
And
so
you had to sing.
He pressed the key, and I tried. Do. So I stop. And then press another key, try again. Stop. Third time, say, stop singing altogether.
Wow.
So that was my...
Were you demoralized?
Oh, just... I became the butt of... everybody burst out laughing in the school. Wow. And from then on, it was a joke. The man who didn't have a part to sing.
You had a nickname back then?
Oh, they called me all sorts of names.
Like?
Even then, people had started calling me. We weren't independent, but politics-wise, there was a mock election. And even though I was then, I think, Form 3 or Form 4, I got elected as the finance minister. The one who became, is it president or so, was a sixth former. But from there,
Form 3?
Yeah, Form 3, Form 4.
Wow. So they called you?
Oh, some future this and future that from school.
From school. Impressive.
Yeah.
Prempe College, you spent your formative years there.
Part of it.
Part of it. If you have to eulogize and, of course, talk about Prempe College greatly, maybe in 3 words, how will you describe this great school or college?
It's like a school that was set up purposely to groom citizens. That's why they picked that motto of Subain Nimdie, character for nation building. And it worked out because the pioneering students, I think there were 50 or so. When they were Form 6, I went Form 1. They all, to the man, distinguished themselves, I think, 2 governors of the central bank or 3.
Wow.
Even subsequent ones, but the pioneers.
Pioneers.
For instance, later Shiabo
Yes.
came for 6th form there to join people like Manu Sapong, who was also deputy governor. So doctors, Professor Kofi Yabua and others, some are still alive. They all in banking, in whatever field.
They excel.
Yes, academics. So it was exceptional for them, and those of us who followed kept the pace. And when you are talking of people who came after me, Dufour, for instance, was
Dr. Kobna Dufour,
Atuahoe, and all of
That's
them.
right.
They all came from.
Impressive. At what point in your life did you join the Freemasons?
I think it was either 67 or 68.
Oh, that early?
I was a young lawyer in Kumasi, yes. Yeah.
What prompted that?
Because members of my family were in there. Some had been in from even before I was born.
They encouraged you into it?
Well, you don't just walk in there. You are, in a way, invited.
So you've been a member since, what, 66?
67, 68, I think.
And what is your current position in that organization?
Perhaps it's the highest so far in the history of Masonry in at least Ghana, but it could be for the whole of Africa.
Really?
Yes, in the English Constitution, yes.
Wow. How does that make you feel? How does that make you feel?
Naturally, when you join anything you believe in and your peers or colleagues keep on promoting you, and naturally you begin to feel perhaps you are doing something very right.
What exactly do you do within the Freemasons?
Are you a brother?
What is it? Because we've heard claims that it's a secret cult, very strange.
It's not secret.
What can you tell us?
The wrong sense of secret. But the whole thing is character building. It's a system that would make a man appreciate or develop a sense of limits, accepting the Creator as the maker, giver of everything. You must believe in that first and foremost, and then also working on the basis of not doing to others as you wouldn't have done to you. So it's a moral.
Is it a religious society or body?
It's not religion. It's not a denominational thing, and so it's open to. You may be a Christian, you may be a Muslim, whatever. You may not belong to any of these, but once you accept there was the Creator, and that we all are brought into a life by Him to acknowledge and serve Him, and also look after each other as humans, doing unto others as you wouldn't, or as you would have done to you, and not doing unto them as you wouldn't have done to you. But I think essentially this is the central point.
So no strange or very strange practices at all?
No. But there's a long history to it.
Please tell us.
Going as far back as perhaps times when even King Solomon built the temple to God.
Oh, really? There were Freemasons?
Yes. Not Freemason in the sense, but the modern aspects. And we celebrated the 300th anniversary of the Constitution I belong to. 300th anniversary, that is. But then, those who initially tried to do these things had been persecuted because they didn't really conform with, say, the religions.
Some
of the
practices,
times.
okay.
And because they didn't conform, they became suspects. And that was what made them go into, if you like, secrecy. So they could continue to pursue.
So is it a secret society?
It's not a secret society. When you say secret society, immediately one gets the impression they are out there to do something. No, it's not cult at all. But and now they've started coming out. So 2 months ago, we celebrated the 300th anniversary of the Grand Lodge of England in Britain, bringing 6,000 attendants from all over the world, some from America, some from Asia, Britain, Africa. We all converged and met at the Royal Albert Hall. And it was just a sight with all the regalia
Yes.
and music and acting. And many of the great names in history, at least in recent times, were Masons.
We're Masons.
Voltaire, Montesquieu, philosophers. There were also religious people, just as Oscar Wilde. You know of him. So
how do you draw the distinction? Meaning you're saying you're a Catholic and then you're a Mason, and does that get
I'm a Catholic, and the Pope, I think John Paul, honored me with a knighthood, Catholic knighthood. They came here to this very room from Centenary House to interview me, because before the Pope would confer such an honor on a person, they would want to know that he would be a worthy recipient. And they asked me, are you a Mason? I told them yes.
Oh.
Well, we went away. They came back, and I told them again. But the Pope, in spite of that, said, go ahead.
Honored you.
It's an open-minded thing the Pope did. So I don't think there's anything. In the past, say about 300 years ago, you know of inquisitions and in history, and Europe, people who didn't seem to conform. Some were even bent at the stake.
Yes.
Joan of Arc and all.
Yes.
So, but that's past. But currently, you've got Catholics, some Catholics in Masonry. But of course, there are still some who wouldn't touch Masonry at all, because historically, Catholics were not supposed to join this thing.
And become Masons. Interesting. You're still on Star Chat. It's getting interesting by the minute. Our guest is former President John Agyekum Kufuor. Live on Star 103.5 FM, also on Ultimate 106.9 FM in Kumasi. We are on Empire 102.7 FM in Takrady and Ago FM in Nkoko, as well as Cape FM and Cool FM in the Volta region. My name is Bola Ray. Well, I really want to know about your current relationship with Mr. Rawlings, former President Rawlings. Is he a friend?
He's a man, personally, I would have preferred being friendly with. But
you would have?
I would have preferred to be nice with him. But every now and then, somehow, he burst out saying unfounded things about me and making me feel rather awkward. So even though I feel I don't harbor any ill will towards him, I do not know his feeling towards me. But naturally, when it gets like that, you have to be careful with a person like that.
Are you worried?
Not worried, because keep it free. And
are you concerned?
For the sake of our society, naturally, I would want the relationship to be quite normal. He served his term, I have served mine. Both of us served our country. So
you mentioned his outbursts and, of course, some of his comments, and you are not comfortable with them. Have you tried to find out from him why? And or if not, will you?
Look, he's been head of state of this country, but the longest serving head of state. He should be guided by, above all, himself. He should know what to say and what not to say. Once you get so high within our society, it's not everything you do.
Would you want to reach out to him?
For what? I say I keep an open mind. And I would wish he keeps a similar open mind. If he really feels there's something Kufuor has done, he rather should approach me to find out, or to establish to me that, look, I found this and that and that. What's your reaction? If I'm at fault, I would say sorry. But that's not how I'm sensing.
Did you offend him personally while in government? Anything you know?
No, I don't remember doing it.
Do you regret withdrawing his diplomatic courtesies?
You don't know what he did to me?
Tell us.
Please, let's go into that.
No,
we are into
so
Christmas.
Was it payback time? He said
not payback,
to you.
not payback, but I was the sitting head of state. He was former. And the sitting, in a way, personifies the state. When you go out to some foreign land to describe your sitting head of state, incompetent, disgrace to the nation, and that sort of thing. Suppose it were his time, you think you could say that about him and come back to Ghana? From what we all know. So that was what I said, look. And it was not as if I went out to do anything. He came after such a trip, blurting out all these things, to ask that courtesies be extended. So I said no. When you use the word courtesy, you should know that it's give and take. Next time, we withdraw so you don't do it again. That's what I thought. So
no regrets at all doing that?
No.
When offered the opportunity, would you want to ask him what you have done to him?
Occasionally, we meet at some function, we shake hands. And the wife is, in a way, a distant relative of mine from Kumasi.
So what's your relationship with his wife?
These days, fine.
These days?
These days, fine.
But in the past, it wasn't?
Some time ago, there were things that really disturbed. And I expressed my displeasure in ways for her to know that she needed to go gingerly.
But these days?
Oh, now I believe we are fine.
You believe or you know?
I believe. Let me say it from my perspective.
Yes.
I hope she feels the same as I feel.
President Kufuor, share with us, what was the most outrageous rumor that you heard about yourself while president?
This is, I can't say. If you know of any, ask me and I'll tell you.
You didn't hear of any?
Look.
You heard of clearly, a number of them.
You tell me.
That you were seeing a popular female broadcaster? Did you hear of that?
President seeing a popular, like we are, I was even wondering why we saw male here. Why
well, I didn't bring any female.
Yeah. So that shouldn't be news.
Seeing, when I say seeing in quotes, I mean dating.
Don't be poetic with me. Talk plainly.
Yes, that you were dating.
No, there's nothing like
popular. You didn't hear that rumor?
No.
That once the former first lady had to go and chase a lady you were traveling with to South Africa.
The former first lady?
Yes, your wife.
My wife? She wouldn't
do all it. Those were weird and wild.
Look, when you get up there, you get all sorts of things swirling around you. But if you want to chase those things, you might go crazy. So a lot of times I just...
So you focused on the job?
The job. I've said it. If you remember, my last statement to Parliament, before I stepped aside, I said 4-year period was too short. It was like doing a sprint in athletics. When you are doing a 100-yard or 100-meter dash, you begin to look this way and that. Definitely you lose the race. Wow. So I didn't allow myself to be too affected by such things.
You're very disciplined, because to hear and rise above the noise, clearly it takes discipline, tenacity. Are you friends with President or former President John Mahama?
We are very fine with each other.
You didn't have any occasion to advise him privately?
No, the occasion didn't arise. In any case, I didn't want to also seem like wanting to ingratiate myself with the man of the moment.
Okay. You know? Any of his presidential decisions that shocked you the most?
Look, I don't distinguish him from President Mills. Okay. But the one thing that really shocked me was when one fine morning I heard that they had cancelled the agreement our government had achieved with Barclays International to do the International Financial Services Center up in Ghana here. That's the offshore bank. We had taken pains to work at this thing over about 3-year period and gotten Barclays International, a bank of high repute around the world, to sign with Ghana to do such a bank. They've done it in Mauritius, and that accounts for Mauritius' current position. So we were trying to get it for Ghana too, and we achieved it. We opened the first offices at the airport city. Then our brothers come to power. Within a year, they cancel it. What? Why this? As I sit here, I'm still puzzled by why they did it. So that one. But the others, I leave it to normal politics.
Interesting. We'll be going for a short break. But when we come back, we'll just get into the times. Yes, we'll talk about his favorite songs, favorite food. And of course, we'll get into some probing questions as well. Right here on Star Chat. But a big thank you to Guarantee Trust Bank. Amazing news for all customers of GT Bank and non-customers who utilize the real money transfer service. Guarantee Trust Bank Ghana Limited has concluded full integration of real money transfer, that's direct to bank account service, which allows senders to remit funds directly into their bank account. So the direct to bank account real money transfer service is fast, it is safe, reliable, as it does not require any human intervention. Call them on 0302-966-755 or 0302-677-704. And also a big thank you to Johnny Walker. Let's take a moment and toast to the authentic whiskey. Let's toast to Johnny Walker, the original taste of whiskey. Since 1820, Johnny Walker has remained the world's #1 Scotch whiskey and has won numerous awards for excellence. So Johnny Walker says, keep walking. Drink responsibly and not for sale to persons under 18 years and pregnant women. We're going for a short break. When we return, there's more on Star Chat. Stick and stay. Welcome back to Star Chat. My name is Bola Ray and our guest is right here. All good and well. Former President John Ejekum Diewu Kufuor. And I hear you are trending at #1 on Twitter and also on Facebook, star 103.5. Of course, you are #1. So we say congratulations.
Thank you.
The people really do love you. In all of this, which of the ministers have impressed you thus far the most?
The current government. Well, the president is doing very well. And he's the president. He's like the conductor before an orchestra.
Correct.
You may get the violinist or the pianist or everybody playing their parts excellently. But if the conductor is not good, you may not get harmonious music.
Clearly, so, but with the ministers?
No, I don't go beyond the president.
You don't go beyond the president?
So the president is doing well, his vice is also doing very well. So that's how I see the government.
How's your relationship with Mr. Alan Kyerematen?
Oh, Alan is fine, also fine. We are like Kumasi people. His father was quite close with me. Our families are very close, so that's good.
Was there ever a time that you felt your reported fondness of Alan Kyerematen was uncomfortable to some people in the MPP?
That I wouldn't know.
Did it ever come to you? Did you hear?
Well, I hear of factions, and
That's right.
I have never been a factional man.
There are no factions within the MPP?
Look, I'm not saying no factions.
You?
I haven't been a factional man.
Really?
Listen, I brought even CPP into my fold. You want me to mention names? I don't want to mention.
Please do.
No,
this is your show.
I know it's my show, but
yes.
I'm sure you know. So if I would stretch out to bring in people from the other side of political divide into my government, why would I divide my own team? No, I always try to keep an open mind about things. Everybody has their part to play, and I don't allow my emotions, personal emotions, to get in the path of, especially with government. No, I try.
But you had a special liking or relationship with
That's
Alan.
a very personal thing.
With Alan.
But I'm telling you, I don't allow my emotions to get in the path of, say, policy and governance. You do that, it will be at your own disadvantage.
Did you ever wish that Alan became president after you?
It was an open field. Don't forget, Dr. Kufuor is my uterine brother. He came immediately after me. We were almost twins.
Oh.
Yes. There's only 1.5 years between me and him. And he also was in there, and was a very ambitious, very capable person. So if I would show any such
You beat your brother?
First.
Interesting. So how were you able to be in this mix? And for the first time, tell us about it. There was Alan, there's Nanado, there's your brother. How were you able to handle that?
That's what I'm telling you. I just didn't allow myself to be emotional. But I came in like a conductor of an orchestra.
Right.
They all took their parts, and I allowed them to do what they could do.
Were they all coming to you for your blessings at any point in time, and how did you handle it?
Oh, they all sat at cabinet with me, and around our cabinet table, anybody would tell you, I allowed everybody to make their contributions.
Would you support calls for Kwabena Japan and other suspended members of the party to be recalled?
I wasn't ever for their being
suspended?
Removed, no.
Removed?
Yeah, I wasn't for that. I was just hoping very much whatever faults perhaps they had committed could be resolved within chambers, so the party would have that united front to continue. I always cited a saying by late Darocha, who was chairman, said that we are in a party doesn't mean we are friends. But we needed to be in there to get the party moving. That's how I took things. But things got out of hand. And so my prayer is that time would come where we would heal wounds and everybody would fall back.
Any timelines you want that done?
But don't let us get into specifics, but just that.
Is that your wish for 2018? Yes.
Democracy is for everybody getting in there, especially within a party. You would want, even where, say, your opponent, the hottest challenger, if one fine morning you get up and have a change of mind, you should welcome him into the fold. That's how I look at it. So that's what I just really want the party to get back together firmly and to continue and to win more people even from the other side of the divide.
You are a unifier, open-minded, you love people, and also your humility. For many that are listening and watching, how do we get into this then? How do we get this feat? It is mind-blowing, and this is you.
It should be about how we accelerate development of our nation. And I believe in national cohesion and unity. I believe very much in that. Anything that is divisive tends to get me a bit concerned. So that's what I want, unity and unity. Look, there are other places where people work on basis of coalitions. Yeah, it's not the winner takes all.
And you did that with the Great Alliance, and you've gone on and you've shown that you want to bring people in.
Yeah. So that's how I see it.
Interesting. And it's another side of you. But in doing this, somebody just sent a message that he wished we'd have opened the phone lines for them to contribute. But of course, we're coming to them live from your home. Maybe we'll attempt to do that and pick a call or two. But of course, we'll go on our social media feed and pick some questions for you. But one question coming in is about Giselle Yadzi. You remember the famous lady?
Yeah.
How did you handle all of that, Mr. President?
Well, that lady came into my life here. We had come into power wanting to really adopt policies and implement policies that would help us impact the transformational drive of our country. When we came, for instance, we found that Kolebu had many of his departments boarded up. We didn't have money to tackle those things. We wanted to, for instance, put a canal on the Accra Plains.
Okay.
We didn't have money for agricultural promotion. Yeah. So somebody brought the lady here into this very room, introduced her as a person with contacts in the Middle East, the Gulf states, and who was offering to connect us with some of the sheikhs and emirs who could help us come by the resources to do the things we wanted to do. That's how she came in. And in fact, she went on delegation. We set up a delegation with her to go to Kuwait. And truly, when they went, our delegation found she had connection with the Kuwaiti bank.
Okay.
In fact, knew the chief executive. So her credentials became real.
Was solid, okay.
And Kuwait had given the previous regime, I think, a loan of about 15 or 16 million that they went disbursing for a long time until we came into power. Through this visit that our delegation went with her, the leader of the delegation was able to get Kuwait to release the funds to us. But we hadn't gone for that loan or to the release of the loan. We had gone seeking something to do the Accra Plains Canal and also to reopen Kolebu in all its departments. So it became very close. Then the hotel next door,
that's right,
done by a friend of mine, Saud from Kumasi, an old friend. He came offering to sell me. I said no. I'm now president of Ghana.
You offered to sell?
Oh, yes. Okay. Said I should buy. Okay. And I said no. But my son, who was working with Price Waterhouse, he had worked with them from London, here, all over. So I said, my friend, look, Saud wants to sell. Show interest. Buy it and leave this job you've been in endlessly. That's how the whole thing came. So this lady, with access to all these connections in the Middle East, who was also interested, that I said, the two of you, go and do it. But then the lady went to Saud, and she was very haughty, talking figures that offended Saud. So Saud came to tell me, look, let our son get away from that woman. I wouldn't entertain them at all. In any case, my son had also seen through this character of hers. And he had, by himself, also broken off. Before I knew, apparently, as she visited Ghana on and off, she had also developed other friends. And then all the allegations started. So I just kept mute. And they carried on and on and on. But were almost trying to derail the government.
Right. Did that really affect you?
Naturally,
you had I was... Be sincere with me, Mr. President.
I'm telling you, I was disturbed, but not sleepless nights. Because once I knew I'm not guilty of the thing, I pray and let things happen.
Were they tough times for you?
They sounded tough because we had people rushing all over, making allegations, and none of which was true. And eventually he went out even claiming I had twins.
Twins, yes.
And some journalists came asking, is it true you had twins? And I said, if I have twins, I wouldn't hide them. Let them bring. If they are my sons, I will adopt them. I will accept them.
Wow.
But the twins never came. So eventually the whole thing got blown over.
Wow. Interesting. Moving on to our Facebook messages, and Curtis Amaru says, I love this great man of our dear nation. Gentle giant, indeed. We salute you, former President Kufuor. Frank Asari says, Gentle Jack, may you live long.
God bless him.
Ajimana Tefua Samuel says, nice program, Bola Ray, watching you live on Facebook. Well, thank you. Oh, Grandpa, how can you sing with your voice? But we love it, though, when you talk. And that's from Kufuor. Man with great vision, so says Cash Pele. And Adeyinka Aduogun says, I'm listening to the show and watching you live on Facebook in Nigeria. Ghanaians, you're blessed with such a great leader. Please, I want to interview him on my TV station, 081. Okay, we'll reach out to you. And Felix Tete says, may God bless you. Uye Bue, Uye Kikim. Wow. Continue to do something great for Mother Ghana. Prince Opoku says, wow, he's awesome and honest. Never knew the other side of former President Kufuor. Congrats, Star FM. Well, thank you, Prince Opoku. Richard Nana Safo says, good president ever, man of wisdom and humility. Thanks so much for revealing him to us, Bola Ray. Well, thank you too. God bless you, Jack. And that's from Glenn Raphael. And Nana Kwame Asabre says, why didn't President Mandela of blessed memory ever visit Ghana during his time as president? Did he make any attempts?
No, we met. The two of us met, I think, twice or 3 times. But he was then so old. And he was fine with me, I would say. He was fine with me.
Osei Richard says that, okay, this is from Hamza Abbas. Ask him, Bola Ray, please, why did he leave us with so much debt? Leaving office.
We live in Ghana also. I rather took off much of the debt. As I said, we had over $8 billion, almost $8 billion debt written off. So we didn't leave Ghana that much debt. I think the debt was, if I remember correctly, I couldn't have been much bigger than 10 billion.
Right. And this one says, listen to us on Ultimate FM in Kumasi. Shuaba says that I want to know whether he's related to the Otumfuor, the current Otumfuor.
Well, my family and Otumfuor's family have related from the beginnings of Asante, about 300 years. Been intermarriages for so long. For instance, my sister, my first sister, directly, my mother's firstborn, was married to Prempe II. And my niece is still around, my grandchildren. So we are related. You are related, indeed. Well, with 12,000 people watching you live on Facebook, that is impressive, I should say, Mr. President. But then also we want to know, and that's from Bennett. Bennett says that Freemason, I know, is evil. Why is he such a good man in that fraternity? He answered, if it's that evil and there's a good man in it, then he needs to look at the issue again. Because there are so many good people in there, you'd be surprised. Right. So Buedu Ben says that, man of Freemason, I'm so blessed to be in the same group with you. Love you, senior Papa. Awesome. All right. Ernesto Yabua says, President Kufuor has hit the nail on his head. We need proportional representation to end the winner takes all practice. I wasn't prescribing that for Ghana. because it can be very complicated.
The winner takes all?
Well, no, not the winner takes all, the
Proportional representation.
But whatever it is, if it's first past the post, as we are practicing now, with will, political will, I think we can still have something almost akin to what proportional representation will give us.
Yele Manche says, great man with wisdom. Salute you, former President Kufuor. But I want to know from you, what do you make the ousting, or maybe with President Mugabe getting out of power? Your take on this?
Everything that comes about must have an exit sometime.
Were you surprised?
I wouldn't say I was surprised. He lived a full life, and 93 for humans is quite a very, very ripe old age. So the time definitely would have come one way or the other. As to the nature of exits, considering his greatness, earlier greatness, he perhaps should have found a way to ease himself out of office before it came to the pass he had to go through. So I wasn't too surprised, but it was just a sad thing that he should go out that way.
Interesting. And coming in from Peter Opoku says, I'm watching live from Chicago. Great program. Kudos to President Kufuor and to Star FM and you, Bola Ray. Well, thank you. And Atukwamna Danso says, ask him about his take on the all be die comment by President Kufuor. What he made of it at the time.
There was just a lot of politicization of that statement. We have a proverb in Akan, Opamo Hufwa, Obatunebema. So suppose you keep on browbeating and bullying a person, and he runs around, he gets to a point where he turns around and says, that is no threat to you. Rather, it's perhaps, if you like, a defensive stance that Nana made. We die one day, so now if you want to finish me, let it be now. We'll be you. So there's nothing to it.
Do you support that statement?
I don't see anything wrong with that. It's not threatening. Huh? I don't see it as threatening. It's rather a way to stop the bully from persisting in hounding the victim.
Patrick Cavage, who's a banker, says, he's my godfather. I wish him well.
Thank you.
And that's from Patrick Cavage, Allegro, to you. I'm watching live on Facebook, and I must say I love the sneakers of the president.
Oh.
May you live long.
Very fashionable.
Which brand is that? You're a very fashionable man. President Kufuor.
Yeah.
Where do you get that sense of fashion from?
I'm looking at you, and I want to throw the question back at you.
No, you are a sharp dresser. I mean,
you are the sharper. Look at the bow tie and everything.
Mr. President, who is your favorite designer?
There's this Ghanaian young man, St. Oswald, right?
Oswald Boateng.
Oswald Boateng.
Yes, he's in Savile Row, London.
Yes,
Great
I've been
guy.
in his shop before.
Oh.
But unfortunately, I don't think I can fit into his...
This is also by a Ghanaian designer.
Well, I can't fit into this because now I've got a rather oversized midriff. Yeah.
You can't fit in it. It's by a guy known as Bromon.
Look at that.
Yes.
And so you are the man of the moment. Me, I can only admire you as
your cologne as well. When you walk downstairs, and I said, wow, you smell good.
Well,
which one do you use?
You.
Which one? The cologne is?
Boss.
Boss.
B-O-S-S.
That's right. And you've been using that for ages?
Well, sometime, yes.
You lost your wristwatch during the Kumipeko march.
You remember that?
I do, because I read about it. How did it happen?
Well, we were going...
marching towards Parliament?
Not towards Parliament. We were on the Old Castle Road, I think. We were just around the Osu Cemetery.
Right.
I think on the military side. When we got confronted by this mob, some carrying cudgels, and so our parade sort of fell apart. Everybody started running helter-skelter. But there was this girl, and may she rest in peace, by me, limping. And so I just couldn't run away to. If I could, I would have gone, because the threat from the mob was real. So we got pinned to the cemetery wall, and then the people surrounded us, me and the girl. And I think one was either going to slap her or something. I raised my hand, and the rascal saw the
wristwatch.
The wristwatch. And before I knew, he snatched it with such force. And in the process, my wrist got injured. Ran away with it. And that perhaps saved us. Because once he did that and started running off, the rest left us. And the poor girl, I think she got a slap. But I helped her to.
But you saved her. You helped her.
Yes.
It was a very expensive wristwatch. But of course, compared to life, what is a wristwatch?
We were thankful.
You love highlight music?
I love music generally.
Generally. So who will be your all-time favorite musician?
That I can't say.
You don't have any favorites?
I have favorites, but not
all time. So favorites will be?
It depends on the mood I'm in.
I want to give you, a season's present. I mean, get you some good recordings that you can.
You bring. Once it's good music, I'll be very happy. I would appreciate the
Yes, but you know our music as well. High Life.
I know High Life a bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amachi Dede is a favorite?
I'm a patron of Amachis.
Oh, okay.
I love Lumba. I love Kojoentri. I love all of them.
Do you know of the new school acts? The new artists that we have? We have Stoneboy, we have Samini, the Shatawale.
I hear all of them.
Oh, you hear all of them?
I'm intrigued by them.
Okay.
Because I find that they don't use lyrics. It's more the beats they do. But me, I'm a bit of a conservative. I want to listen
to the lyrics.
With what the message you are given.
There's Becca.
But I love her.
You've met her, you've seen her shows?
She was here not too long ago. Wow. My birthday.
What do you make of the creative arts industry in Ghana? Is it getting any better? Are artists, are creative art people?
Ebo White, again. In fact, I'm hoping to attend some of his plays over the Christmas season.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So that is for the plays and the theater. People are talking about we getting bigger auditoriums, getting event centers.
Well, look, all these things are to do with markets.
Right.
And the thing is, so far we tend to depend on the public sector for everything. And government in a difficult economic straits like we are in now might not be able to prioritize provision of bigger things. And I don't know of any private.
So the private sector should get into this.
It's the market.
You are the Thanksgiving service of just one group of companies. You run Zoom Lion.
Yes, they invited me there.
Right. People have issues with the company. Others have issues of you going there.
Look,
you help them to set up.
Well, it was started in our time.
Right.
And if they listen to me, I cited the Korean experience. A time was when all the major Korean companies we hear of today, their captains were put into jails and things like that. The chaebol system of Korea was dubbed as corrupt. But the governments had a second thought and released them and guided them. Now they are the rulers of the world, Samsung and all of the. So when you find adventurers that can do it, yes, you might have peccadillos or waywardness here and there. Use regulatory mechanisms to straighten them up and let them continue to create. So that's what I saw of it.
Are we ready to build businessmen and entrepreneurs in Ghana?
Unless we build them, we'll be the worse for it.
Wow, that is deep.
Well, seriously, we need to create wealth. It's they that would create the wealth. So there's not public sector as such. We've tried state farms, we've tried state shipping, state this. None worked. let the private sector learn to risk and encourage them with enlightened laws and tax mechanisms. And I tell you, you'd be surprised. But look, even when we look, go to Makola. Who trades in Makola? Our mother said some didn't even have the formal schoolings we boast about. But see how they manage to look after themselves, their families. These days, there's more money in Makola than even at the Central Bank of Ghana.
Many after first degrees, second degrees are going back to Makola to set up.
I would say that's wisdom. And we should encourage them to do that. And that's trading. Now let's move into industrialization and other aspects of wealth creation.
Well, this one says, I'm wishing all our Manfors well. That's a senior right there. And I'm watching you live in the UK. Senior Gorazu sends his regards. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
You set up the Kufuor Foundation.
Yes.
Doing a lot of wonderful things. Recount for us, what are some of the things that you are into as a foundation?
The main thing is to try to mentor our youth to appreciate that leadership perhaps is the most critical factor in all human endeavors. But unfortunately, we've tended on our continent of Africa not to pay too much attention to the critical leadership we need. From my experience, I've come to be convinced that we need to nurture leadership in all aspects of life. Politics, yes, but in other fields, engineering, finance, everywhere. When you get the right leader, I tell you, then you are getting the transformational key. And so I want to use the foundation to imbue in our youth, especially on our tertiary campuses, that they should know, they must know, that they are privileged in their sites. For every university student you meet, likely you have over 100,000 of his kind, scattered all over the country, unemployed, poor, living in villages, afflicted with diseases, so forth and so on. So these youngsters with privilege on campus should know that they have a duty. They must know themselves, they must know the societies from where they are coming. So they would prepare themselves like missionaries of old to go and help, stretch out their hands to bring up the disadvantaged. And
that's what the John Ajikun Kufuor Foundation is doing, the Jack Foundation.
Yes.
Raising missionaries to go out there in the world and impact the world. You'll be 9 years next year.
Out of office.
Out of office, yes. And of course with the foundation as well. Now you tend, yes, the foundation, and you'll be 80, God willing, next year as well. I think that there should be something monumental in place by the foundation for you, maybe between now and next year, December 8th.
I hope you are not thinking of a big cake to cut.
You know, all of that, but maybe a fundraising to support the program.
Yes.
What do you make of this?
It's important, but even fundraising, it's like a profession.
That's right.
Just because you've got a good idea or you mean well, might not get people given to support the cause. So I think the process should be professionally handled.
Right.
So when people are impacted with the vision and message, they will come and contribute and get, because we want the resources to endow the foundation. For instance, Legon has given us a plot of land across from the engineering faculty.
Right.
We are building now. I want us to build a center, mentoring center.
What a legacy.
Yes, we've started.
And I hear you have the Kufuor, Scholars Program, a 3-year leadership program for undergrads across the country.
Across the country. Currently, we have 34
Brilliant.
of them. 34 of them. I think tapped from about 7 universities so far, but open. And this year, I think we advertised for 20 1,500 students applied from all over Ghana. Wow. If you can imagine. When they are recruited, we send them out into the country to see life around, say, Atebubu, Kwame Dansu area. That part is also part of Ghana. But I can assure you, you meet, say, 10 students in Accra, not one might have even visited that part of the country. Go there, stay there for about 3 weeks, come back, and if you are not affected, to want to do something to help the less fortunate there, then I would say perhaps you are not a true Ghanaian.
What an idea and what a vision. And there's also the Center for Leadership and Governance on the Legon campus. A lot that you are involved in. So clearly the foundation is doing a lot more.
We are trying to.
And I've just been given a number which, you know, for the Kufuor Foundation, I hear there's a website, kufuorfoundation.org, that people can visit or they can contribute or call 05579566168. I repeat, 05579566168 to support the foundation. That's a brilliant initiative. And we salute you, sir. Well, as we get ready to round it all up, this one says, Dada Jack, I just love you. May you live long. God bless you, Daddy. It's from Samantha Shani Mahama. Going out to you. So Samantha says,
father was my colleague in the 1969 Parliament under Buzia.
Oh.
Father was also a deputy minister like myself, Shani, but he died earlier.
Right.
He was a good man.
Right.
Yes.
So, good one. And we'll be going for a short break. And when we come back, there's a lot more for us. But of course, we're saying a big thank you to Express Savings and Loans. Yes, they've done it again. It is the first of its kind in Ghana. If you're a salaried worker, you don't have to worry about where next, you know, you're getting your meal. Of course, it's going to come from, yes, rest assured, Express Savings and Loans, they are here to help you. They are offering credit to take care of all your food needs. All you have to do is to get your credit card at any of the branches across the country. With your consumer credit card, you can buy any food item from kawukudi.com and have the food item delivered right to you wherever you are. So this is total convenience. Call them on 0501 525 861 or visit any of our branches. Express Savings and Loans is here for you. We'll be right back to wrap up right here on Star Charts. Yeah. Come take them. Right, so you're welcome back. And this is Star Chat. Well, loads of your messages coming in. And the number that I read out earlier is a mobile money number to support the Jack Foundation. So clearly go out there, support whatever that you want to give out. The foundation is doing great job. Center for Leadership and Governance being built at Legon campus. There's also the Kufuor Scholars Program, a 3-year leadership program for undergrads. So support by donating. The mobile money number is 055-795-6168. That's 055-795-6168. Well, interesting stuff coming through. And somebody just sent in this one. It's actually coming from Khadija. And she's asking, would you advise President Mahama, former President Mahama, to run come 2020 if you were to, engage him, is this something that you would advise him to go? This from Khadija, and she wants to know.
But it's not for me to say this on this program. No.
You don't want him to come back as a candidate in 2020?
It's neither here nor there. President Mahama should know himself, and it depends on him what he wants to do.
Right, so Khadija, there you have it, and that's your answer. And also, well, we've talked about Giselle Yazzie, so it's not something that we're going to get into. But it's time for our mystery question.
What is it?
Yes, and we have it right here for you, Mr. President. So kindly.
This is like doing some lotto, eh?
So what is in there for us? Yes, sir.
Oh, this is not a fair question.
What's the question, sir?
Between Kwame Nkrumah and Nelson Mandela, who, in your opinion, is the greatest Pan-Africanist and why? I think they belong to different times. Nkrumah, in a way, was a torch-bearer for Pan-Africanism in the 50s. Mandela didn't get his chance till the 80s or 90s, late
90s, yeah.
So you don't compare the two. They were both great men. Nkrumah, as I said, was a torchbearer and really did a lot to support the freedom fighters all over the continent. And so his greatness, in a way, is fixed.
Who stands tall among these two men? If pushed to the wall, who will you choose?
I wouldn't compare them, but they were both great people. Mandela's greatness came towards the tail end when he was able to forgive even his persecutors. And then for him to propound his rainbow principle or theory, so he would, in his view, bond his country together as an interracial community for the development of the people, and he was remarkable. But Nkrumah, again, for his Pan-Africanist thing on the continent of Africa when most of us were colonies and the freedom fighting was on. Also, I believe...
Well, the CEO of DAP Motors, listening to us in Abosokan, and is Michael Banahene, sends his regards and says, I will support the Leadership and Governance Center. And that's the CEO of DAP Motors. So we'll connect him to the Kufuor Foundation. And I believe that a lot of people really want to support this great initiative. Yes. But Mr. President, when all is said and done, you want to be remembered as the guy who came in and did what?
Well, served his country so well that his people would remember him as the guy who served genuinely and sincerely to try to better the lives for all of us, all Ghanaians. And
what is your greatest fear in life?
I haven't thought of it.
Today we're giving you the platform to think about.
You don't think about such a serious question on the spur of the moment.
What is your biggest regret in life? That will be?
I don't have any.
No regrets in life?
Well, I set out in pursuit of a career, a profession. And as we can see, I succeeded in it. So what's my regret there?
No regrets.
I set out to get a wife. I got one, with whom I've lived for 50-something years. And God has blessed the marriage with
5 beautiful kids.
And not beautiful men and women. And then great grandchildren, so many. 13. With a touch of luck, we may even see our great-grandchildren.
Wow.
So how can I complain? And my larger family too, generally, is so good.
On a good day, your favorite food will be?
Before, I used to like, say, fufu, but now I've gone off fufu.
No fufu.
And I've come to the point where It's just a bit of rice or pona yam.
Yam.
I like pona.
Okay. And drink?
Drink, I see whiskey standing here. But it's not my favorite drink.
Oh, really?
Even though they are sponsoring
Yes.
the
You don't do whiskeys?
somehow I never took to whiskeys.
Oh, okay. Do you have brandy?
Cognacs.
Cognacs.
Yes, for some. But even there, I'm slowing down.
Oh, okay.
Then Shandy. These days, before it was either Star or Golda from Kumasi.
Oh, okay.
But now I've fallen victim of Accra Club.
Club beer?
Club, and with a touch of...
Chilled one? With a touch of...
Very cold.
Very cold.
A touch of Sprite.
Oh, so that's what you call Sandy. You do your own Sandy.
Yeah, I do all my own mixes.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have a gift for you right here from all of us at EIB Network. Compliments of the season. It's quite heavy because he has some champagne in there.
Hey! Now you've launched
some
me.
Cognac.
You've launched me on Christmas mode.
Yes, so from all of us at EIB
And there's a
Network.
cognac in there.
Yes, please. Thank you.
I'll relapse into my old bad ways.
So thank you very much for this great interview.
Bola Ray, you are fantastic yourself.
Thank you, sir. I'm honored. I'm humbled. And I'm inspired.
You are great.
God bless you, sir. Thank you.
God bless you too.
So it's been another great edition of your #1 personality show, Star Chat. Thanks so much to my wonderful team led by Kwame Danso, a champion. And to all of you, I salute you and I say thanks so much for listening and for watching. My name is Kwabena Anoche Adisi, also known as Bola Ray. God bless us all. Thank you. Thank you, sir.